All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Little bit of mic check before we get started. Okay, thanks, Xander. Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trader and Plus U.S. retail sales. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-minute trades. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay, good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Gold. Gold, unbelievable. $83, $82. Bullish, $83. I don't think I've ever seen that. Every day I wake up and gold is crazier and crazier. Even if they say, oh, the financial advisors yesterday said, no more buying gold. No more buying gold. And it made another new high. And today it's up 80. Right now it's up $82. Make sure everybody that you go to time.is and make sure your computer is in sync. Do you know what I mean? What's the guy that sang that song? Do you know what I mean? No looking on Google either. He was an organ player, a Hammond organ player. Oh, I can't remember. Do you know what I mean? I hated that song, but it was very popular. Um, do you know what I mean? About checking your time sync. Let me know if you don't know what I mean. All right, I'm going to net change display indicator, and I'm going to put gold on points. And gold is, like I said, $83. And the song was called Do You Know What I Mean? I need to know. Lee Michaels. I should have known he has my first name. Lee Michaels. Is he still alive? I don't know. Let's look. I think that was a one-hit wonder, maybe. Not even that great. He's still alive because it says is an American rock musician. 79 years old. Okay. Well, good for him. He played with a lot of people, um, but I don't remember anything else he ever did. Okay, we have U.S. retail today. U.S. retail. We're streaming on YouTube. So, hello everyone on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like button. It helps us a lot. I took a little scalp on gold with some micros right before I got here. It didn't make a new high. It didn't test the high. And I didn't wait for the magnet, which I'm glad I didn't. But it still could test the high on this news, depending what the news is. But let's look at the DMM. At 4:30 this morning, the market moved a monstrous amount. Now, what's interesting is gold went the opposite way of the markets, but gold has already recovered almost all of that move. I'm more interested. $25 sell off. You don't know how much that is in like 5 minutes. That's a lot. We're in an era. It used to be if gold moved $1, that would be a big deal. The NASDAQ, and it was a comment by China about tariffs. The NASDAQ moved 769 ticks in less than a minute. And then it kept going, right? It kept going. I'm going to start at the bottom of the candle. It pulled back about 40% of that. 40% in the next minute, or 35, we'll say. And then it went back, it went over 1,200 ticks total in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 minutes. And it's been holding most of the original 700 and X amount of ticks move. That's quite the move. Quite the move. So, what does this all mean? That we don't know if our setup is going to be safe. We just don't know. You can get these crazy moves on all sorts of news. That was just a comment about China and Trump and the tariffs. It was a comment. And it was a comment that China would talk if Trump was respectful and put a point person in charge of the talks. That was the essential comment that I saw at 4:30. So we have a setup for US retail. US retail as a trap trade has been a very good trade. So what am I going to do? What are we going to do? I'm trading the trap, but in light of that kind of movement, I'm definitely going to increase. I don't know if you could consider it a family money trade today, Calvin, because of the risk involved. It's been a family money trade. Honest, it has been. It truly has been. It truly has been. But there's so much risk today that you really have to think hard about, what you're going to do in terms of risk. So, I just want people to know the truth, which we're always totally transparent. Here's what I think we should do. All right? I You have to accept the fact that if you trade a prop account, you could blow up the account. It's a lot of risk on the trade. It could, at a minimum, cause a 1 day pause in the account if the trade goes bad. Now, we only had one trade in the past month that blew up an account. And given these crazy markets, that's not that terrible. We've had many, many, many excellent winning trades. That's the truth. And we've had some lousy trades, which is to be expected. But overall, trading hasn't been that bad. It's really been uh, interesting, manageable, and yesterday we had one of the best trades we've had in months, and it was streamed on YouTube. The NOPA report. It was phenomenal. So there's been some excellent trades, and we've left a lot of money on the table by being very conservative with our stops. With the movement and trade management has been the biggest, most complicated part of trading. So what I'm going to do is slightly increase our bottom tier. It's a trap trade. I just can't believe we're going to get a 100 tick move. I mean, I can believe it. I'm totally accepting all the risk. I think we're going to get a reasonably big move, but not off the wall. But of course, it's going to depend on retail sales. If retail sales have fallen off the chart or they're really good, then we'll have probably an outside move. I don't think we're going to find that they have fallen off the charts. I'm not hearing any companies moaning and groaning about their sales. And some of the banks and some of the companies that monitor the consumers are saying they haven't seen consumers falling off the edge of the earth yet. Is it a matter of time because inflation is exploding? We'll see. We don't know. We know inflation is exploding. We know inflation is not in check. They could release all the government reports they want. All you have to do is look at the money you're spending and compare it to what you were spending a year ago or 6 months ago. Hardly anything has come down in price. So we know the truth because we're the normal people. We don't have our health care paid for. We don't run around in limousines. We don't insider trade. We're the normal people. We pay the bills. We send our kids to regular schools. All right. So we're trying to make a living here, and I'm going to be a little bit conservative. What's the rule? What's the rule? We would rather not get filled on a trap trade then have the trade stop us out. Of course. Isn't that true on every trade? But on a trap trade, remember, if the market goes up, we're selling. If the market goes down, we're buying. This is a report that historically changes direction. And of course, it could be difficult today. But let's be honest, when we do our homework, when we look at our spike sheet, it only had one no reversal, and that's when it traded with CPI. And we wouldn't have been trading retail that day. We would have been trading CPI. And that was more than a year ago, or it was about a year ago. It was about a year ago. Every other retail trade is going to be safe today with our setup for the news release. That doesn't guarantee you a winning trade, but it says when the news comes out, don't stop me out with a spike. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to trigger the trade at 8:29:55 like we always do. Our stop is 25. Tier 1, 55, and tier 2, we're going to go 80. All right? We have a zone of safety of 105 ticks. If gold moves more than that, we're going to get stopped and we're going to lose $1,000 at least. I'm going to trade it in my prop account. I'm going to label the trade GC trap, and I'm going to take full responsibility for pressing the trade button because I'm a grown-up and I care if it doesn't work, but it's not a funded account. Let me be clear. So it's not a disaster if it doesn't work. I would love it to work. I feel there's a good chance our setup will work. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, on the same chart, I'm going to put a reverse continuation with gold. One position. One contract, one position, 50 tick target, 30 tick stop. Maybe the trap won't get filled and the news will be strong in one direction and we'll have an opportunity to trade gold on a reverse continuation, right? It's possible. And in that I would have to trade in the same prop account because it's on the same chart. So remember, with a reversal continuation setup, all you need is a position, how many contracts, a target, and a stop. One position, 50 tick target, 30 tick stop, and I'm trading it in the same account. That's number one. Number two, for our bond traders out there, which is not too many of us anymore, we do have a breakout on bonds that have not been too bad on retail. I can't tell you, though, how bonds are extremely risky also. So I'm going to spend my time managing the trap trade. I'm not trading multiple setups on this report. But I'll test our bond setup with ZF. ZF breakout 829.58 on the trigger, a bracket of 8, targets of 8 and 20, no stop move. Normally, if I were trading it live, I would use no stop move. I would manage it manually. But I'll tell you something. These markets are so wild. To protect that first target, you might do a break even -4. The stop is 15. I'll label it bonds BRK. I'm just simming it. I'm going to save the template. I'm just going to call it retail ZF today's date. And I'm going to set the time to 0 just so the brackets can be managed if I have time. Remember, when you set a 0 trade in time, when it calculates, when the bonds move, it will calculate the bracket, and we can see how the brackets are. I don't want them so wide that I can't manage it. Bonds are in a very tight range this morning, waiting. I believe they're waiting for retail news. It's going to move them. Now I'll put my time back to 8. And I'm ready for my bond trade. Probably today, if I only had a heart, sorry. ZF is just as good liquidity and it's half the risk of ZN. That's why. And you can trade either one. You could use up to a 20 stop on ZF. Gold is going to be tough. Gold is going to be tough. And then I'm setting up on a micro gold chart because I have it open on my Apex account. And I guess I'll set it up as a magnet. I don't want to trade it at the exact time as the news because the liquidity, the speed of the move might not be good. It's for after the news, okay? It's for after the news. I almost today in this market, I think I just want to make it a reversal continuation. I'm just going to make it a reverse continuation with two positions, one for 15 ticks, one for 40, a 40 tick stop, and a break even -5 if it hits the first target. And again, the reversal trades are pretty random. And when I say they're pretty random, what I mean is, we haven't looked at every event and calculated how much it went up and down after the news. There's only so much a human being can do. AI is going to do that for us as we go forward. But I do want to have a discretionary entry possible on micro gold after the news. And it could be micro ES. It could be micro NQ, right? It could be full sized if you want to take the risk. But what I'm looking at initially is the trap trade, which is a very big risk. Okay? Looking at retail sales a year ago, what happened? Here's what happened a year ago. We were trading a trap trade and we were watching the MES. Trap on gold, and we were doing the gold in our cash account, and I had a Top Step account, and we were doing MES in the Top Step account. And the trap trade, you could see it hasn't reversed yet. It hit the first target. It reversed a little bit, okay? Reversed a little bit. We canceled the outer tier so we could move our stop to safety way too aggressively. And it reversed, and we made like $1.50. The breakout on MES was not a breakout. We were doing that as a reversal continuation. And that was a year ago. The move on the MES at the time of the news was probably too fast to get a good fill. Very, very fast. It looked like a better trap trade. And we do have an ES trap that we've been testing. However, I don't want to trade the ES on a trap right now. I've seen too many ES trap trades explode through our stops. It's definitely more risky than gold. Here's January. January. And we were using a similar trap to what we're using now. And ZF would have been ZF had a low liquidity pop. So in January, maybe, depending on where you got filled, it could have worked. The trap hit tier 1 and did a really, really good reversal. The trap was great. That was January. So clearly our risk, and I'm going to turn off. No, I'm going to leave everything where it is, all right? I'm going to leave everything where it is. Bear with me, folks. My desktop is a mess today. All right. Okay, someone on the internet, MB, a reversal continuation is a trade that's a discretionary entry. The trap trade and the reversal continuation, you can go long or short on discretion. And anytime you want, because a reversal continuation puts buttons. You can see the buttons on this chart. A trap trade is an automated entry, opposite direction trade to the spike on the news. That's the difference. So a reverse continuation is a totally discretionary trade, excuse me, and the trap trade is not discretionary. It's discretionary in the sense that if it doesn't fill right away, you could cancel it. And everybody, the right way to cancel a trap is to click the check mark in the enabled box, not to X. Click the X's on the orders like you would do on a breakout trade. That will not cancel the trap. You can also click close buttons along the top. Cancel, combine, adjust, close, break even. Okay, we have buttons associated with the trap. Cancel is to cancel the outer tier if we only get filled on one order. You're going to see what it looks like probably right now, MB. But we're too close to the trade to show demonstrations right now. I'm sorry. It's only 2 minutes, a minute and a half. The trap trade's on the left. That's a trap trade. It's also a possible reverse continuation. I have a chart you can't see on the stream. It's all the way on the right. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to show that on the stream. All right. So look at the move gold made before we got here. 15, it went $12. We could be in trouble here with a 100 tick safety net. It might be too small, but what are you going to do? Make a 300 tick safety net? There's just no way to know. There's no way to know. What we want, the best thing for the trade would be retail sales to be pretty close to what's expected, not off the wall, good or bad. But just remember, lots of risk. There's my orders. It looks like it's not even a big move. Okay, bonds look like they would have filled, but they look like they're not going to follow through. The gold trap, very honestly, it should be canceled. It should be canceled. It's not a big enough move in any direction. That's the sad reality. I was really hoping for an explosive trade, and we got the opposite. We got the exact opposite. Normally, I like to wait a minute for a trap trade. If it filled me short long, I would love that. I don't want to let it fill me short. Don't let it fill you short. And now it's a full minute. No fill. I cancel. I would cancel by unchecking the trap. So we see this a lot. We do see this a lot. What we see is when you're expecting the craziest response to the news, a lot of times you get no response. And one thing that happened here is if you look at the news, it's very close to expected. It's very close to expected. And it just didn't move the market enough to fill our gold trade. Bonds, now if you notice, I was on sim with bonds. If I'm not trading an event live or even in my prop account, that generally would tell you I don't have a lot of confidence in the setup. I mean, that's the honest truth. You want to remember that, okay? Bonds aren't stopped yet, but They did not have a great move. Now, Calvin used a much smaller first tier. Yeah, let me turn off. I'm going to leave bonds running. I'm going to turn off all my trading. I'm not going to trade on my main chart. Looking at MES to see how that moved. So we did not get good candles on this news. The MES did not have a good trading candle, okay? The NQ probably had the same type of whippy kind of candle. Same kind of up down indecision kind of candle. Okay, I'll do it immediately. TJ, I'll do it immediately. Um, everybody, our next, let me just say thank you on YouTube to everybody that watched. I'm going to close our YouTube stream. And thanks, everyone. Hope you all have a great holiday. It's Easter Sunday, Good Friday, and the last day of Passover on Sunday. Hope everybody has a nice holiday. Thank you on YouTube. I'm going to stop our stream.